Morning and welcome back to the Only Fabs channel. Today we've got this massive 360 in for some repair work. It belongs to a man called Tomper, or so I'm told. So if he happens to watch this video, this is what we've done. But anyway, as you can see, it's somewhat worn out, or good for draining hills and holes. But yeah, so basically we're going to weld some new pins in the bucket. We've got a brand new quick hitch to go on, and we've all new pins and bushes for the linkage as well. So hopefully by the time I've finished, it should be as good, if not better, than the day it was new. So yeah, so there we have it. So it's obviously got a white bucket and a white quick hitch at the moment. We're obviously going to change the white quick hitch out for geese as here at ECFS we stock a lot of gate hitches. I believe we have touching 200 hitches in. So unfortunately, my mic decided to give up at this point. But I was just explaining that we've 200 gate hitches in stock, ranging from small diggers up to like 50 tonners. So if you're in need of a hitch, give Charlie a call and he will be sure to sort you out. So here we're just taking the retaining bolts out the hitch pins. Due to the fact that they have a bolt through the hitch itself, they actually don't turn in the hitch, they turn in the arm and the linkage. They have a grease nipple in the end of them, and the grease is obviously pumped up the centre of the pin into the middle and then comes back out through the bushes. You'll see when I show you the new bushes further on in the video how they're grooved to allow the grease to come through them and back out to the outside of the back to the outside of the bush. So a quick look around. As you can see, the pins are very, very worn in the bucket itself to start with. You can see gaps in the quick hitch, and this pin in the bottom of the arm is next door to non-existent. It is a weak point as the grease nipple's meant to be in there, but nonetheless it's non-existent. You can see all the shims here have been battered and bruised, and there isn't actually too much slop in that bit, but while we're on, it would be silly not to change all the bushes at the same time. So just here I've slid the pin out for that locks the quick hitch to stop your bucket coming off or being took off, and then find the pry bar, as there's not a handle with it, and take the bucket off. As it's such a big machine, you can see I've just lifted it off by hand. I thought I was doing so well by using my clip-on mics for this video and recording it all the way, but as it turns out, they've failed me. I did realise so far through, so as time goes on in the video it will get better, just bear with us. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the hitch itself off. So I'm just going to tap the pins out, because despite the fact that they're as worn as they are, they with the having steps in, sometimes just catch on the steps, and obviously being quite dry of grease as well doesn't help. As you can see when you look at that pin, just how worn it is. And then we tap the pin out the bottom of the arm next, so that the quick hitch itself comes off. And with it being such a big quick hitch, look at that, eh? You don't get much worse than that, do you, for a step? But yeah, with the quick hitch being so big, obviously I could hold it with one hand. And here you can see, when I get it held up, just how worn that jaw is. Obviously it's meant to be straight down either side, so that once the pin's actually entered the jaw, it stays tight, but obviously it was well worn. There's not so much in that ram, but obviously, like I say, we wouldn't not change all the bushes while we're on, because that would make the most sense. So here we're just taking some more retaining bolts out. Bit of a tedious job, so I've speeded it up a bit for you. So now we're going to take the linkage off that connects the ram to the hitch. As you can see, it's in two pieces, a bit that goes from the arm to the ram and a bit that goes from the ram to the hitch. Now these don't actually move within the pins on the bit that I'm taking off at the moment, so that bit's still quite tight because it has no moving parts between it to wear, so that proves a little difficult. So here we're just trying to give the bushes a tap just to see how stuck they are, and sure enough, seeing as though they've been in since today was new, no doubt, they're as fast as you're gonna get. But as always, there's always a little way of making your life somewhat easier, and sure enough, today will be no exception. And as you can probably see, we're just putting the earth clamp on off the welder, because what we're going to do is we're going to weld around the inside of the bush, and as it can't go anywhere as we heat it up, once it cools down rapidly from glowing red, it will shrink and make it somewhat easier to get out, just the same as you would a bearing. Now, as you probably notice at this point, I'm holding my welding mask today because I took my proper welding mask home last night and to do with it at the Bairns truck, and unfortunately I left the welding mask in the van, and then the van that I used to come to and from working went out on another job with one of the lads, and I forgot to take it out, didn't I, before he went. So luckily we were doing a job that didn't require a lot of welding today, otherwise that might have been fun. But yeah, so we'll go around, we'll weld all these bushes, give them a little bit of time to shrink, and then they should tap out somewhat easier than they were going to do without. Like I say, this is a tried and tested method, and one that I've seen done many times before. So yeah, we're tapping the bushes out. Obviously they're coming out a lot quicker and a lot easier now that they've had a bit of weld. So that just makes life so much easier, so much quicker, and yeah, keeps the job moving basically. So these are what's known as grease seals. These go in the end of the arm with the two bushes, so that when you grease, it keeps the grease in, and because the grease comes from the middle to the outside, and it goes on that little track that you can see there in that new bush. And like I say, the little grease seal on the outside is meant to stop the grease getting out as quickly. Otherwise, essentially, you can just push it straight out of the side. And then obviously it doesn't do any good. And here you can see we're in the freezer. We've put the bushes in the freezer. So you might all think I'm mad at this point, but if you know, you know. Basically, if you put the bushes in the freezer, they cool down and contract, making them smaller. So always a good shout. So I probably should have put them bushes in the freezer at the start, really. Give them a better chance of being cold. But what we'll do now is we'll weld around the bush in the end of the ram to make that easier to come out. And also the 4 bushes in this bit of link here. So that hopefully once everything's ready to go, the fact that the bushes have been in the freezer for an half an hour or an hour, 11:45 now, so it's only dinner time. So while we have lunch, obviously they'll cool down even more. So that'll be even better still, because that means we'll get a bit longer to freeze. Because again, once them bushes have been frozen, they'll go in to where they need to go much easier, because they will shrink slightly. And you don't actually need a lot of shrink, you just need enough. So as tight as that bush was then, that obviously come out like a rocket due to the fact that we welded it. If you weld them, they just shrink instantly, because you obviously bray a load of heat in them and they essentially glow red. And then by the time you've gone from what you're doing to getting your hammer, they've cooled down enough to move. I couldn't do that again. So again, as you can see, everything's just coming out quite nice, just for the sake of giving it a bit of weld. Where this one, without welding it, we're not even moving it. So rather than spending a load of time and effort braying at something just for the sake of it, we'll just run a bit of weld in them and they'll fly out. I'm a big believer in making things as efficient as easy as I can. So it makes sense. So that's it now. We've got the 4 bushes out of there, the bush out the end of the ram, and the 4 bushes out of the end of the arm. So we're officially all bushed out now. So I did tell you earlier on that we're putting a Keith quick hitch on this machine, but what I didn't realise was we're actually in fact putting a Rhinox one on. No, we're putting a new Rhinox on. Brand new. Only thing he's not having new is a bucket. But Peter, I need you to do me a favour. I need you to stand next to the end of his digger, look at the camera, and just instruct him on how to use a grease gun.
That'll not happen.
I know, but it would make good.
Yeah, do it usually. You make all the guns.
Well, we maybe ought to buy him one in with deals.
Well, no, I got to keep you in work, man, Steve.
So yeah, we all new pins and everything. Look,
You'll be able to operate the guns.
honestly, when he gets back on it after it's been redone, it'll be that tight.
You're not going to operate it, honestly.
It'll be that tight. He's going to make a mess.
Right? Yeah.
Because you know yourself.
Well, you get used to the slog, don't you?
You do, yeah. And they're the jumpiest little horrible things in the world anyway.
Stop.
Yeah. And there we have it, look. A brand new Rhinox quick hitch. So measurement wise, we are 101 mil, I reckon. And we're 99 mil there. So for me, that tells me we need a millimetre. And there we are, look. I've took the pins out of the quick hitch ready. I'm going to have some lunch, and then when I come back, I'll bring the some of the bushes out of the freezer. We'll have them pushed into the arm. What I'll do is I'll push the first 2 in to start with. I'll clean it all up first, make sure there's no grease in there. Well, in all of them really. And then, like I say, we'll push the bushes into the end of the arm first. Then I'll push the ones into the next one up. Then I'll hang the quick hitch on, and then we'll sort the link rod out and everything as we go. And yeah, we'll have a back to ride. Should be a good little digger again. So we're back. We've had lunch. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get these pinholes cleaned out. So as I was saying before, the quick hitch is 2mm wider than the end of the arm. So we have a series of bushes here, or spaces should I say. So there's them that came with a pin and bush kit, and then we have a series of washers that come with the hitch as well. So it's always nice to take any side slog out and make things as tight as possible to save any end float on your pins. So we've got all them ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get 2 bushes for the end of the arm, and we'll start by pushing the 2 bushes into the arm first. So as you can see, a bit of frost on them. I've carried them on a bit of wood to save warming them up with my hands. There's no easy way of getting these in and out now. There we go. So I'm going to hang the quick hitch on next. What I've done is I've got two of the smaller bushes and I'm going to put them on there to try and take any side slack. And with one of those little ones either side, that fits that well. And if you look there, that second washer is just tight enough that it won't move. So that's the quick hitch pin in. Two 13s to tighten that up. You get to a point where you more or less know your spanner sizes off by heart, and you can see them without having to guess. Not to mention there is like a uniformity of an M8 bolt is generally a 13mm and an M10 bolt's generally a 17mm. So there is that side of it as well. So right now that we've done that, we'll probably get the biggest of the bushes for the ram, or I might just get all what's left now. There's only 5 left, and we'll press the bushes into the dog bone, as I would call it, which is that part there. So what we'll do is we'll push them in using this. And again, I'll shim anything I can to make it nice and tight. So I'll turn you off a minute and I'll head back to the freezer. So I'm back from the freezer with the rest of the bushes. First of all, this end. Luckily, that nut fits that beautifully. Just to push it in enough for the grease seal. What a difference it makes just them being in freezer, just to shrink them that little bit. Like they've gone in with ease, where I imagine there'd have been a bit of a fight on if I hadn't. So the next ones for this side, these don't have grease seals. But that was absolutely effortless. Until what's gone on there. So that's them in. Again, I'm just putting them grease seals in. So we're going to pop this link rod back together. It's going to need the same treatment as the end of the hitch and the arm. So we're going to get two of the small shims. Again, that fits beautifully. So very much so as it was before. Now we've got zero slog. Bit of block of wood there. So it would appear that I've actually slightly bent that. Right, we just need some new bolts because these ones are hellish worn. And then that's that bit complete. You don't get much better than that. Certainly compared to what it was, it's streaks ahead. So I've got 2 new bolts for here. What we'll have to do is I'll have to start the machine and crowd it back to get that one in, otherwise it will foul. You can't see from this side, but from this side, if I put that bolt in there, I'm just going to tap anyway. Then it would foul, you see. So if I put it in the other way, it'll be alright. So I'll have to start it up and curl it back. So there we have it, which is all done. So new quick hitch, new bushes in here, here and here. So the whole of that mechanism there has been changed, every last bit. And as you can see, there's nothing in there now. That will be as good now as it was when it was new, if not better. So what we're going to do now that we've finished that bit is we're going to weld 2 new pins in his ditching bucket, and then it'll be good to go back to digging with a time machine, basically. So here we have a look on a closer inspection. You can see just how ruined that ditching bucket pin is as well. So it is completely worn. Obviously, where your quick hitch goes onto your bucket, there's not a great deal you can do about wear, because there's no grease points or anything. So yeah, it's obviously seen a lot of use, but you know, even in the holes, it's yeah. She's had a long life, bless her. There you go, look, that's a true representation of just how worn that pin is. Back in this scrappy. That's obviously the back pin, that one, so that one's the better one of the two compared to this one. As worn as it is, that's the front pin. So yeah, neither of them are very clever. And what we have here, we have two brand new pins. So put the two brand new pins in. I'm going to go and get two bolts, and then I'm going to weld them in as well. Make them double strong. Drop me bloody neck.
So I was controlling it all last night. So it took me more than last night to do, as you do. And one of the other lads is out me down this morning before I got loading my scout, so I'm luckily not going out loading today.
And as you may or may not know, this is actually a manual quick hitch, which comes with this snazzy little bar that has a holder as well. I don't think we'll be putting the holder on somehow. So once you release the pin, there we go, and that's it. That's your bucket on. That back onto there. That pin back through there. that linchpin in there, and there we go, look. Absolutely solid as a rock, how it should be. So, good old Topper's machine is back to being a full bill of health. So, just in case it never sees it again, we're going to give it a grease. And typically, whoever's had the grease gun last has left it fucking empty. Right, we'll try again. Topper's machine is all done and dusted. We've obviously been round and greased it. I've got more grease on myself than the machine, but there we have it. So we obviously have the Rhinox quick hitch. Now, I wouldn't be a proper man fitting the quick hitch if I didn't put the stickers on, as it is a manual quick hitch. So these stickers need to be fitted so that anybody else knows that it's a manual quick hitch. And if I put it on there, I suppose I could put one there, couldn't I? So there we've fitted 2 safety stickers. There is the operations of the hitch sticker there, but as big as it is, not really sure where we'll put it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that in the little wallet that comes with a hitch, and when the man comes to collect his digger, I'll give him that book and that handle, and he's set to go. So there you have another job complete. If you haven't already, give us a like and a subscribe, and you never know, we might see each other again.